get what you deserve. You've been lying across the 7 seas, tried to hide it, but now it's sink or swim. If you jump in the fire.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Dynamite review and Rampage ramp up. It's been a little bit, but great to be back here with Connor. We had to review last night's Dynamite. There was no way we couldn't. So yeah, like us and on subscribe on YouTube and Twitter and all that good stuff. I don't even remember what my handle is anymore. But let's get right into it. I think the biggest thing with last night's Dynamite was the context surrounding it. We all knew what happened after All Out. It was a very good pay-per-view. Wasn't my favorite. It was good. Probably I wouldn't say great. We had the return of MJF, but what really, has been taking up all of our minds in the news in the wrestling world was what happened afterwards. We all heard about CM Punk, the brawl that ensued, Kenny Omega saving Larry and getting bitten for his troubles. And, that's what heavily influenced the Dynamite we saw last night. So, Connor, I'll let you start. What you thought on the opening?
I thought it was a great opening. I think Tony kind of handled it well without even mentioning their names or anything, just straight into it. We're crowning new trios champions tonight. It's going to be a tournament to crown a new world heavyweight champion. I thought I wouldn't have put CM Punk. I would have probably just shut him up after the first stuff he said on the post-media scrum and let that be it. But I feel like he handled it well in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I think everybody saw Tony Khan's face while CM Punk was speaking at the scrum, and I think everybody kind of mirrored it afterwards. It was definitely, he went off the rails for a little bit there, and while we can't put any blame, on any one group or party, I think everyone has their opinions on who was in the right and who was in the wrong. I think Tony Khan did the right thing. I think he did what was good for business and what was good for the wrestlers. Back in the locker room, there was bound to be a lot of tension, and I think him addressing it on TV without mentioning their names was really good, and vacating the titles as well. I think nobody could deal with any more interim champions at that point.
No.
It was nice to see Tony Khan not yelling, how excited he gets, and handled it very calm, very cool, collected, and then shifted it right over to MJF coming out, which we got a whole 3 minutes of MJF acting like a baby face, which, in that brief glimpse we saw him, the crowd completely enamored, and it was a nice moment, I think, for everyone. But of course he returned to true MJF form, and then we saw Mox, who really is the ace of AEW. He's carried this company on his back more than one time and was supposed to be on vacation. So, seeing him come in and take up that leadership role along with Jericho, who also wasn't supposed to be there, come in, I think was a good way to handle Dynamite within the context of the situation they were in. So that's my opinion. I look forward to seeing the Young Bucks come back along with Kenny. I think they were doing great things with the trios. I'm interested to see what happens after, now that they don't have them. And I think it's safe to say we won't see Punk for a long time, because along with all of his verbal and physical altercations, he also sustained a pretty bad injury, right?
Yep, he'll be out for 7 to 8, maybe 9 months. So it's for the best.
Who even knows what he's going to do when he's healthy again? I think he should maybe just take Larry and take some time off. But, I just work here. The first match of the night, what do we have first? Was it for the Trios Championship?
Yeah, it was just supposed to be a regular Trios match, but luckily, for both teams, it was for the Trios Championships, Death Triangle and Best Friends and Orange Cassidy.
I would have been happy with either one of those teams winning the match. But I was very happy that Death Triangle won it. They put on a hell of a match, and it was so good to see the Best Friends get, I think, their due. They've been wrestling a lot lately, and we all know Orange Cassidy is good. Sometimes I forget that Chucky T and Trent Beretta are also, exceptional in their own right. So, but yeah, it was an incredible match. I would have given it like an 8, a solid 8.
Yeah, I give it an 8. It was very what I expected, very fast paced, nothing too dull. Um, of course, Death Triangle won this match, and Pac is the first ever AEW wrestler to hold two titles in the company. Now, of
It's
course,
so well deserved. So well deserved.
I mean, FTR is holding multiple titles, but it's not AEW titles
Mhm.
because Pac is the All Atlantic champion and Trios champion. So, but I hope Best Friends and Orange Cassidy win the Trios titles eventually because, like, them three, like, pretty much from the beginning of AEW, they've like been together as a team, and they've really come a long ways, especially Orange Cassidy.
Oh
Um,
yeah, man. Some of his moves I was talking to a friend about today. I love the Stun Dog Millionaire. I think I just mark out every time I see it. It's just so good. And they're exciting to watch. And I love the addition of Danhausen. I'm not sick of him yet. I still think he's hilarious. We get him in small doses, so I think he's funny. At least to me, it does.
yeah. Um, when I was actually in Chicago for Rampage, they had like Dark before Rampage. Like Danhausen actually wrestled, and he wrestled an actual full match, and he won the match, and he did very very good. So I hope people watch that and see that
Yeah,
he's
hopefully
actually very talented.
we see him wrestle down the line. I would. I mean, he's already hilarious in his own right, but I think we forget he's a wrestler too. Um, so one of the things I was watching like the 0 hour, and I've been saying it forever because Action Bronson has this food TV show called Fuck That's Delicious, and it's hilarious. I watch it all the time. Me and my husband do, and we realized he does Hook's music. So when he came out at All Out, I lost it. Maybe nobody else was like, but I thought it was great. I love Action Bronson. If you haven't watched his show, it's on Hulu, and it's him and his buddies, and they travel around eating great food, and it's hilarious. And nobody paid me to say that either because we only have like so many viewers. In any case, him and Hook had a thing. Who was their little promo against? Who was the? Oh, it was Angela Parker and
Yeah.
Daddy Magic. Who anytime they're talking on screen, they're just gold to me. So I think that'll be interesting to see where that goes down the road, and I think they're preparing for some sort of. I typically don't like celebrities in the wrestling world and wrestling, but I am for this one.
Yeah, it's slurs can either be very good or very bad. Um, it depends on which ones you're getting, I think.
I know. It's is it a Johnny Knoxville or that other guy who wrestled the Miz? You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what's his
yeah,
name? I don't know. Isn't there two of them?
yeah, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Yeah,
Yeah, fucked if I know. Um, what else did we have? We had what was after that? Tony Storm.
yeah. Tony Storm and Penelope Ford.
Yeah.
I wish that Tony Storm was the actual AEW Women's Champion, but I think when she does beat Thunder Rosa, she'll be the best AEW Women's Champion they've had like to date. She's just consistently putting on good matches and very good on the mic.
Mhm.
Um, and she has like she's more experienced than half the roster. I hate to say, but and like that's a good thing. So Tony can coach people like Penelope and elevate them to the top because I feel like their match was very good last night.
I did too. I felt like it was really good. Usually we see Penelope in these like short matches. She's coming out with Kip Sabian and our box friend. He'd been doing that for so long. But I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good match. I'd give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. It kept my interest. It didn't look clunky or botchy to me. And Penelope Ford really looks like she's improving. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was great before, but she seems like she's getting more moves in her repertoire.
And like even though she lost the match, she technically like it's still like bumped her up in AEW.
Mhm.
Like how do I say it? Like even though she lost, she kind of still won.
Yeah, I think like
It just
I
like
get what you're saying.
elevated.
It like just wrestling Tony Storm elevated her and made her look good as well.
Yeah, and she's getting well. This is her second time of TV since coming back. She went against Athena on Rampage.
She
But
did. Yep.
but I feel like this was more of a showcasing what she can do on TV.
Yeah, and I definitely think it sets her up for being a contender down the line. Her whole look is, I know, like my husband loves her look, but it's almost too like, I don't know. But she rocks it well. She looks beautiful. And, I think Toni Storm's going to make a great women's champion when she like unifies the belts. I think, and part of me thinks that Thunder Rosa didn't get the time and attention she deserved. And part of me thinks that like her promo skills really didn't work for the title, but we shall see. What else did we have? Oh, Hangman and Danielson.
Danielson in the tournament to crown to crown a new AEW World Champion at Dynamite Grand Slam, and this is the third time that Danielson and Hangman has won against each other, and all three matches have been classics. Especially their first one went to 60 minutes.
The 60-minute draw.
And then the second match, well, yeah, technically Hangman didn't win, so they're 1-1. Hangman's one match against Danielson, and Danielson beat Hangman. But all three matches were classics.
They were great.
I've had.
They were clinics. So I think the decision to do it as a tournament was smart. I'm not sure that there was really any other way to handle, the title being vacated after that. And I think the people that they chose were really solid choices. Jericho and Mox with the first round bye. We saw Danielson win against Adam Page. And then Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin are fighting on Rampage, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was smart to include them too. They're two day oneers and homegrown talent and young. So I think they'll definitely bring out the best in the more experienced and older wrestlers competing. I think at the end, it's going to go to Danielson. I think we're going to see Mox and Danielson in the end. And
yeah.
I think it should go to Danielson. I think he deserves it, and he would make a great champ.
Yeah, it's going to come down between them two because next Wednesday it's Danielson and Jericho. I think Danielson's going to beat Jericho this time.
Yeah.
If Moxley does win it, it's basically the same story that they was going to tell between Punk and MJF. Like basically, Moxley had the same experiences as he did in WWE, and Moxley hates WWE. And MJF's still playing that role of going to WWE and stuff. So it's basically the same story, just Moxley. But yeah. I want to see Danielson win because, Danielson has proved himself in AEW with banger matches. And I think it'd be good to put the title on him. Don't get me wrong, I love Moxley, but if he does win, it'll be a 3-time.
Yeah, I think Mox has been a good champ. I think he's really the backbone of the company at this point. But yeah, I agree. It going to Danielson, and then I think we all know MJF is eventually going to take that belt off of him because he's just destined to be the world champ at some point. We can't. Yeah. It's inevitable.
He's going to make sure he gets a boatload of money, and he's going to be world champion. I'm pretty sure the only way he came back is
for a boatload of money and world champion.
He's got his own plane now too. He's on jet thing. He goes to shows now.
And then so the match I thought was great. It went on longer than I thought. I was like, oh, this is going to be short with the time that we have, but it went on, I think, just the right amount of time and was believable. Most of the main event, it was Garcia and Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship belt.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a pure rules match, but they had judges out there and they weren't counting the.
I was looking for that. The counts at the bottom.
Yeah, and then like normally in a pure rules match, like you have only so many rope breaks, so many closed fist punches, and they didn't really use that. But they had judges out there, and that's what they did. Do. I didn't really get what they were. If it was a pure rules match or not, but. The match was a very great match and showcased two of the younger stars in AEW. So people saying that AEW only focuses on former WWE guys, like that's a prime example of them showcasing their homegrown talent.
And they really have. We saw the Acclaimed come out, and I think it was a good thing, even though I love Max Caster's raps. I thought it was a good thing that Swerve cut him off because we had no idea what was going to come out of his mouth with everything going on. Yeah. But the Acclaimed have definitely had their rise and push, and as homegrown talent, they're doing amazing, and I'm so here for it. But yeah, I think Garcia and Yuta, Wheeler Yuta's come such a long way, and he's so fun to watch. And just seeing the new skills that he showcases from match to match is always exciting for me. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird time. It's such a weird time in wrestling. I think overall it was a great Dynamite. I don't even know what I would rate it because I think the context surrounding it has more to do with the actual Dynamite.
Controversy
So much. But I think that considering the circumstances, there's so many ways it could have gone, and I think Tony Khan handled it like it was just as good as it could possibly be considering the circumstances.
Oh, I don't know. It was like a 20-second match, but Wardlow and Tony Nese
Oh yeah.
title.
I think part of last night was giving the fans some of the things they wanted, and keeping them happy. And I think everybody's happy watching Wardlow powerbomb somebody into oblivion. And then his little comments afterwards about everybody saying he's losing momentum. And he's saying I'm here to stay. So I'm excited to see him get some real competition. I'd like to see him against Morrissey. I think would be good. I know they fought before.
Yeah. Him and Miro would be good.
Miro, yep. I was talking to my husband about that. Like him and Miro would be a really good run for them. Andrade, there's no shortage of talent who are believable that could beat Wardlow, and that would make for great matches.
Yeah, I personally think the way I was going to book the TNT Championship would be totally different from Scorpio and Sammy and all that, but I would have a Lance Archer be a TNT champion at some point because he's challenged for that belt 3 times and lost all 3 times. Against Cody, he lost against Miro, then he lost against I can't remember, but there's so many people that Wardlow could go against for the TNT.
I'd love to see Ricky Starks get his hands on the belt eventually. I don't know what they're doing with this Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks situation. It seems like Powerhouse is getting the push, which I'm totally behind. I think Powerhouse Hobbs is great. He's dynamic and exciting to watch. He's a big guy, but Ricky Starks, he's got something, and I think that he definitely deserves more than going at it with the Factory.
Yeah.
Especially with the crowd so behind him. Yeah, and I really what's gonna say? The Acclaimed are fighting Swerve and Our Glory again at Arthur Ashe, right?
Yep, at Dynamite. Yep. I think the Acclaimed might win him this time, especially with 20,000 fans.
I hope so. They totally deserve it, and I think it's exactly what the fans want. And the Billy Gunn and their catchphrase, it's going to get old eventually. So it's like you have to jump on it while it's still hilarious, and it still is for me. It hasn't gotten old yet, but it will. We like all things do.
Yeah, it's a lot of people when I went to All Out, like this one woman was saying like behind me, like all these grown men are chatting daddy ass.
Like who would have thought? Who would have thought that would catch on? And the T-shirt's like the #1 selling T-shirt in the AEW store. It's hilarious, and it's just like a stroke of genius. It's one of those things that they said and it caught on, and now you can't put it out and have to give them the tag team titles. You don't really have a choice at this point.
But it just like whatever team wins, FTR has to get their title shot, and whenever they do, they're gonna win.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. It's
so the Acclaim might not have a long reign if they have to go against them.
Which is okay because they're young. They have lots of years of wrestling ahead of them. And I think FTR would be the perfect people to take it off of the Acclaimed at a pay-per-view down the road. I think it would be pretty magical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we had anything else from the Dynamite.
That was pretty much all the matches, I think.
That's all the matches. But yeah, it was highly anticipated due to the varying reports. I think I sat on Twitter waiting for breaking news left and right, and we were all texting each other, just like, what the hell happened? It's an unfortunate situation.
And Malachi, I don't know if it's confusing. I don't know if he's with the company or not.
From what I gathered, it was that he was granted a conditional release. So I don't know that he's still under contract or just taking time off, but it would be very sad to see him to go anywhere else besides AEW because I think the House of Black was criminally underutilized, especially in the run for the Trios Championships. Like they are just incredibly talented.
At Dark last night, Julia Hart is seemingly the leader of the House of Black, which she should be. And they're still going by the House of Black. So hopefully he's just taking time off and when he comes back, he'll get a huge reaction.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then I really hope they do more with the House of Black in the future because there's no cooler entrants. Like they're so cool to watch and interesting.
Like I've been addicted to Julia Hart's theme song. Like
I don't think I know it. I don't watch Dark a lot, so I know she wrestles on Dark a lot.
Like the first time I heard the song was in Chicago, and then like the first line is like the house always wins. And then,
that's cool.
It always sticks with me now, that song.
So what do we got coming up for Rampage? I know we have Dax Harwood and Claudio for the Ring of Honor World Championship title.
No, that's going to be a good match.
It's going to be a great match.
Claudio Castagnoli. I like saying that, Claudio Castagnoli. Like William Regal can say it the best, but that match should be a very good match. And the women are actually getting a good match. Serena Deeb versus Madison Rayne.
Oh yeah,
Look at student versus coach.
Serena Deeb in a while.
Then Sammy and Darby, which that should be.
That's right. That should be a good match.
I'm pretty sure Claudio's match will be the main event, but if not, it should be Sammy and Darby.
I think they might start with and every time I think it's going to be the main event, they start with it. So I think they'll start with Claudio and Dax, and then Darby and Sammy will be the main event. That is my prediction.
But it should be a very good Rampage. This is one of the biggest Rampage cards I've had in a while. I don't know who's going to win between Claudio Castagnoli. I'm assuming he's going to win.
I mean, we all know Claudio's going to win because he's probably going to hang on to that thing for like ever.
I would hope that Jonathan Gresham comes back, but I'm fine if he doesn't. He's bragging.
I just think Claudio's, I don't know. Everybody loves him. I've never been super impressed. Like he seems like a wonderful guy. I bet he's like super nice, but his promos are kind of whatever to me. And I think the big swing that he does is.
Yeah, he's very creative. I'd like to listen to a lot of his interviews and stuff. He's very, very, very creative storylines and stuff, especially in WWE things he wanted to do, but Vince turned down, of course. But but Jonathan, I would hope he would come back and beat him. But Jonathan Gresham's complaining over a Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. It's some of the reports stuff. I don't want to get into too much toxic stuff, but I hope Jonathan Gresham would come back and regain the title.
Yeah, he was great. Any Dax Harwood match is really good, and I think him against Claudio, and Claudio's a good wrestler, so I think that'll be great. I think that'll be a good match, but I do think Claudio will hang on to it. I don't think there's any rush to move it anytime soon, especially since Wheeler Yuta just lost his belt. So, yeah I don't think that's going to move. It'll be a good Rampage, though. I actually got tickets for the live Rampage in Uncasville on Mohegan Sun. And I'm kind of like, it's just a Rampage, but it's a live one. So I'm hoping I don't know what it's around. If it's around any type of, couldn't be like a pay-per-view. But we'll see.
Like every Rampage from now on is going to be live. Every Rampage is live, so.
Really?
Yeah, I believe starting sometime this month. I think in DC, just when they start that. But Canada, like the only Dynamite that won't be live is Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, every Rampage of October or some of September, October, November, December, where all Rampages will be live.
Oh, that's cool. Cause yeah, I'm going to the one in October, so that should be really fun. Um, which is also nice because when you're going to Dynamite live, the like Rampage fatigue is real. By the time I got to Rampage, I was so tired. We'd already been screaming. It was just, and you were watching the dark matches before, so like that Rampage fatigue is definitely a real thing, and it's hard to get excited by the end.
Yeah, yeah. I've done that before. You got dark and Dynamite, 2 hour Dynamite, then an hour of Rampage, and then it takes them a little bit to set up for Rampage. So you're there for almost 4 hours, 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours. So.
All right. What do we usually do? The rumors? I mean, I don't even know what to do with the rumors anymore. I think we all know them. I
Yeah,
got nothing new.
yeah. There's still rumors of CM Punk and the Elite, and if you unless you've been living under a rock, you know everything that's
Just
went
like
on.
us, you've been following it. And I don't think really anything is new. I mean, we know CM Punk's not coming back. The Elite suspended. I don't have any word on like how long their suspensions are. Do you know anything about that? When they might come back?
You know, sometimes in WWE it'd be like 60 to 90 days, but in AEW it might be different. So, like every sports team or any kind of organization being suspended, there's different terms of how long you're suspended. So, I would hope they'll
Yeah,
be back. I'd
we
hope
know
they'll be.
that Eddie Kingston was suspended for 2 weeks for just like Sammy Guevara. So
I don't know if it'd be 2 weeks for them.
I
Being
anticipate it'd
suspended.
be a little bit longer due to the severity of the situation and like the media surrounding it.
I would hope they would be back before Full Gear, but I don't know. Maybe they'll come back December at a Winter is Coming.
Oh yeah, that would be a long time though. That would suck.
Yeah. Just seeing that they've been stripped of the belts, I don't think they'll be back in 2 weeks.
No, I don't think so. But you know, in my own personal opinion, I think AEW can live without CM Punk. You
Yeah.
know, it's a blow. He brought in a ton of money, but I think fans will eventually, if they're not soured on him already, you know, because of this, I think AEW would be okay without him. But the Elite and Kenny Omega are really so integral to what AEW is, what AEW stands for, and the building of it that it would be really, really hard to see them leave. And I think would definitely, I'd be sad. I don't know if I'd see it the same way.
There'd be no Elite and all Elite Wrestling without the Elite.
Exactly.
I guess you got Hangman still there, but he's not in the Elite, really.
Yeah, and you have Adam Cole, but he's
And why is Brandon Cutler suspended? Like, what did he do? Like,
so
and
from
Michael
what I
Nagasawa.
understand, when like in any type of corporate situation, when there are people involved in an altercation of some kind like that, even if you are innocent and was just like a bystander in the room who saw what happened, they have to suspend anybody while they conduct their investigation. Like we can't have them going out on TV or talking to the media and blah 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 while the internal investigation is happening. So that would be my guess as to why Brandon Cutler is suspended, but to be a fly on the wall to like really know what happened,
Because I don't see him or Michael Nagasawa trying to stir anything out with CM Punk.
yeah, I think it was likely they were just there, maybe trying to break things up, but in any case, everybody has to be suspended still until they finish up.
Like the only blow for CM Punk if he is gone is, I looked on Shop AEW and about 4 of his shirts are top selling of the week. I went to Chicago, everyone was wearing CM Punk shirts.
Yeah, you can see it on TV.
Merchandise sales would maybe drop. Viewership did not drop last night.
It wasn't. It was over 1 million.
Yeah, they went up from the previous week with MJF, so I think they'll be good there. But I think they were doing just fine without CM Punk. And like CM Punk's not just the only big name. They got Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe's back. They got other people, so I think they'll survive.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Kenny Omega's back when he's back from suspension. You have really great talent. I think Mox is a front runner for Wrestler of the Year, or should be. There's so much good talent. There's so much to draw people in. MJF, especially, I think, where CM Punk, where we feel that loss of him, MJF will make up for that. I think he has the potential to bring in tons of merchandising, draw the fans in. It just got to give him that time to do what MJF does, because with the Wardlow story, him and Wardlow, that was like some of the greatest storytelling I've ever seen in wrestling. So I think the sky's the limit for MJF.
I feel like MJF owes Wardlow one for ruining his moment. So I hope Wardlow beats him for the AEW World Title.
Said it was a little bit karmic that CM Punk kind of stole MJF's thunder with all of his comments. Everybody forgot that MJF came back. Nobody was talking about it. In very much the same way that MJF stole the thunder of Wardlow. And it's taken a little bit, for that momentum to build back up for him. So, all's fair in love and wrestling, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate for some wrestlers right now. But
And everybody has an opinion.
But for the most part, I heard that everything was a lot more calmer and less. How do I put it? It was not as toxic as it was when CM Punk was there. It was more. It was a very better vibe in the locker room.
We have good locker room leadership. I've heard that Jericho has been like an ultimate professional through everything. And he had a little blurb saying it's my locker room during one of his promos. Him and Mox deserve a lot of credit for, what they do behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it? Is that all we have for tonight?
Yeah, that's some of the Dynamite, Rampage. There's no just rumors, just somewhat. That's pretty much it I can think of.
Do you remember when we used to have like no rumors? We said it was a good thing when there's no rumors. That's a good thing because everything's quiet and as it should be. So hopefully we have less next week to talk about. Although I feel like this whole debacle will leave us talking for some time.
Yeah, that'll be on Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know when.
Oh my God!
But I was there at that event, and like this will probably go on for years.
Yeah.
And like we'll probably get a whole thing of Tony Khan being in the back, and then like all the like cuts that they shoot and stuff.
I cannot wait. There's somebody, I don't know who did this online, but made a Dark Side of the Ring edit to a bunch of the footage.
That.
Oh my God. It's just who has that time? And of course I'm going to watch it. Oh Lord. Well, keep in mind, everybody, our rumors are just rumors. We're not journalists. We don't claim to be. As much as we critique wrestling, we have respect for all the people who put their bodies on the line for our entertainment every time. So take everything we say with a grain of salt. They're just opinions. Don't stalk us on the internet. That's rude. And join us back on what's today? Oh, join us tomorrow for the Rampage live reaction. And come back next Thursday for another review for what I'm sure is going to be another exciting Dynamite. So with that, we'll say goodnight and like and subscribe and all that good stuff on Facebook, Twitter. Let's see, other one, Twitch and YouTube right here.
Yeah.